Hi guys, for this presentation I'll be talking about the play by William Shakespeare, The Tempest. More specifically, about my essential question, which I chose, and it is, when and how should someone be forgiven? And why choose forgiveness and reconciliation over revenge? I will also be talking about, in William Shakespeare, The Tempest, the recurring theme of forgiveness demonstrates that the power of humanity lies in noble actions rather than revenge.
Hi, and right now I'm at home, a place where I feel comfortable. I'm also wearing clothes that I feel comfortable in.
On my bed, I also feel very comfortable. And on my couch with my bear. That's how I feel comfortable. Now why am I talking about this? Why am I talking about being comfortable? Well, as you see, forgiveness is kind of a way of being comfortable with oneself. What I mean about this is that, you see, outside, everything seems very peaceful. And that's the whole thing about being comfortable. Being comfortable is being peaceful with yourself, and things around you are peaceful. When you seek forgiveness, you tend to have done something wrong and you're not comfortable with what you did. And this is what Shakespeare does in The Tempest. He tries to prove that forgiveness is a way of becoming comfortable with oneself and is more powerful than revenge, because being comfortable with oneself finishes all problems. And sometimes it takes a stronger person to forgive people for what they have done. An example that I'm about to give is actually apart from another famous Shakespearean book called Romeo and Juliet. So this is the part of the book really close to the end. This is a conversation between the Capulet and the Montague, where they find out that Juliet and Romeo have killed themselves. This example is in Act 5, Scene 3. For the example of Romeo and Juliet that I gave earlier, both families realized that fighting doesn't solve anything, and that's why they kind of forgave each other and said sorry, because they realized what they had done, and their fighting has brought shame to their families. And it even came to the point where they had so much hate that two siblings that loved each other from their family couldn't be together because of the problems between those families. This is the part where you kind of see Shakespeare shows in his other stories that forgiveness is, in a way, a lot better than revenge, because revenge creates violence and never-ending violence, but forgiveness creates nobility, it creates strength. In the play of Tempest, at the start of the book, when Miranda, his daughter, first discovers Ferdinand, she kind of falls in love with him at first sight. And Prospero kind of seems to think that Ferdinand will just be another man, and you can tell by the way that Prospero talks about Ferdinand that Prospero is kind of a harsh and strong, strict character. And this is going on through in Act 1, Scene 2. But then in Act 4, Scene 1, you kind of see Prospero's character shape in a different direction, in the fact that he's more calm. And this is the part where Ferdinand comes and says that he wants to marry his daughter. This next example that you see Prospero's character shape the most is after the three guys try to take over his power on the island. And so I'll read a couple of lines. Prospero, you do yet taste some subtleties, O thy isles, that will not let you believe things certain. Welcome, my friends, all, aside to Sebastian and Antonio. But you, my brace of lords, were I so minded, I here could pluck his highness, frown upon you, and justify you traitors. At this time I will tell no tales. Sebastian, The devil speaks in him. Prospero. No, to Antonio. For you, most wicked sir, whom to call brother would even infect my mouth. I do forgive thy rankest fault, all of them, and require my dukedom of thee, which perforce I know thou must restore. This is where he shows that even though these people were trying to betray him and were going against him, he still chose forgiveness over revenge. This next scene, I interviewed my father. So when should someone be forgiven?
We are all educated when we make errors to apologize, and if someone apologizes, obviously, we forgive, because an apology means that it's an error that is recognized and you'll never do it again.
And why would you choose forgiveness over revenge?
Actually, you don't forgive if someone didn't ask to be forgiven, but going for revenge, we are no one to judge. There is someone out there who makes the judgments sooner or later. You just try to stay away from such a person, because once again, if he didn't or she didn't ask to be forgiven, it means that he or she will be ready to make the mistake again.
This is a contradicting example of revenge from the show Sopranos.
I'll talk to somebody.
Some peppers and cheese. Garganzo, alright? Forget.
Wow, whoa! Sit down. Sit down. Easy. Motherfucker. Fucking daughter! My fucking daughter! Motherfucker, my fucking daughter! Oh. Hey, you want some Zambuca with this?
Tony, you're making a big fucking mistake here.
I'm gonna put a bullet in your fucking head, huh?
Don't do it!
So, there was an example of the mafia for revenge, and as you can see, it only leads to brutal violence. I believe that people should be forgiven whenever they ask for forgiveness. And I believe that forgiveness is a lot better than revenge, because forgiveness solves more problems than revenge does. And forgiveness makes people more noble and more understood. Thanks for watching my presentation.